Fun fact about penguins, Corbyn.
Okay, penguins.
The largest living penguin is the emperor penguin, which is about 4 feet at the tallest they can be.
That's why there's a Pokemon called Empoleon, but go ahead.
The largest penguin ever found was in 2017, but it is fossil evidence that penguins were once the sizes of humans.
Okay.
About 55, 60 million years ago.
Yep.
Likely weighed around 220 pounds.
Okay.
Stood about 5 feet, 10 inches tall.
Yep.
So big penguins.
Yeah.
Everything else looked the exact same. Tuxedo and everything. So my question to you, Corbyn, is could you fight a 5'10" penguin?
Could I?
Yeah.
I think so.
Could you win?
I would hope so. They don't have hands.
They got beak.
But I could grab them in a headlock and stuff.
How many little penguins could you fight before losing?
I say I could take on 4 to 5 penguins.
You know what? That's a conservative, fair answer.
Okay.
I respect you for it. Some people say 100. Would you rather fight a penguin or watch The Big Bang Theory?
Oh God, I'd bring on the penguins.
Welcome to Radical Apathy, the podcast where 2 half-wits set out to solve all the world's problems with pop culture references and a lackadaisical attitude. Why not? It's worked so far.
And welcome everybody to Radical Apathy. My name is Tanner.
And I'm Corbyn.
And that is Corbyn. Hi, Corbyn.
Hello, how are you today?
I'm well, buddy. How are you?
A little tired today.
You look tired.
I do look tired.
I can't ever tell between your age and you just being tired looking.
It's kind of like price and value. It's like age and what value you look.
Right.
Versus your age.
Commodities.
And I would say I'm older today than I look. Or no, I look older than I am today.
Okay, so today's a looking older day. Luckily for us, we have a guest with us today.
I'm loving it.
Who not only looks young and handsome.
Yes.
Is, in fact, young and handsome. Mm-hmm. I mean, on a sliding scale, I'd say.
It's a bell curve.
Hello, guest.
Hello there. How are you guys?
We're so,
God
we're
damn,
so
he
good.
sounds buttery
I know,
smooth, too. God.
See, don't say that.
He sounds
That's
way
not
better
true.
than me, too.
Buttery smooth.
Damn it. So, guest, if you want to introduce yourself and tell everybody why Corbyn and I are going to feel bad about ourselves this entire episode.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Rosie. Mm-hmm. It's not not the name I was given by my parents.
Right.
It's my radio name, and I worked in radio for 25 years.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's pretty sweet. And I'm really, yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is cool.
I'm excited to get into it.
It's like the big parent version of this literal basement song and dance we're doing.
See, I don't know if that's true because when I got laid off from my radio job, many people said, "Hey, why don't you start a podcast?" And
Yeah.
I said no. What kind of a loser?
Why the hell would I do that?
That's not going to happen. And as you'll soon find out in the next, how long is this? 5 hours.
Yep.
Yeah.
My storytelling is pretty weak.
All right.
So
Good.
I couldn't do a podcast by myself. You guys do a great job together. So I'm just going to swim in your wake today.
Ooh,
I like it.
I've never had anyone swim in my wake before.
Really?
I don't think I've ever been strong enough to make a wake.
Oh, you make a wake.
Okay.
We both make wakes.
Well, Rosie, we're super
We
happy.
talked about our health last week. We're both making wakes, pal.
You know, I went again and just, I still hate it.
Yeah.
Rosie, we're really happy you're here.
Yeah, so
I'm very happy. I'm very excited to be here.
And we've been really happy with all of our guests before, but I think it's fair to say, and Corbyn, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
they were all garbage compared to you.
Disappointing, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard them. They were disappointing for sure.
Yeah, I don't think any of them were good. Bad people in general. So we're excited to have you.
Yeah.
And we're not going to talk bad about you next time. So that's who it is. Before we get down to the dirty, Corbyn,
Yeah.
you had given me homework.
I gave you some homework last week, and it was kind of off the cuff homework.
It was very literal, off the cup. What was it?
Gee, now I'm trying to remember. Okay, so first I asked you to. Nope, I forgot. What was it?
Okay. We are off to so good. You know Rosie's here, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, and I listened to it, but
Yep.
you know what? I forgot it as well.
Okay, so we're doing really well then. We're really hitting that audience.
Yeah.
You gave me the well thought out homework.
Yes.
To
Yeah.
the boot chicken nuggets.
Yes, the chicken nugget boot.
Okay.
Did you do this?
So because the boot chicken nuggets, instead of putting boot in first the dip,
Yeah.
hold boot.
Use the boot as a handle.
And then the second dip was to do the honey mustard
And the honey.
And the honey.
Hot mustard and try the honey.
and the honey. Yeah.
Expand your horizons a bit.
Yes. So
All right.
I did all that.
You did all that.
I did all of those things. I did it all in one sitting. I figured that was something I could do once.
Yeah.
Without having to kind of break it up.
How do we feel?
Okay, so I walked into the local McDonald's.
Yeah.
I went up to the counter. I said, "May I please have some chicken nuggets? May I please?"
How many did you order? Just out of curiosity.
I did 10.
Okay.
But I wanted to make sure it worked. So I said, "May I please have the boot chicken nugget?"
You have to request that.
Well, I didn't want to order
Didn't want to
10
not get any,
and not
sure.
get anything. I wanted
Yep.
to, because that was the homework.
Right.
Now, when you gave this to me yesterday, and Rosie, if you listen, you could know. When you said the boot chicken nugget, I knew exactly what you meant.
Yes.
Because there's 3 of them.
Yeah.
There's 3 styles of nugget that come in the press.
there's
See, I didn't know there was 3.
Yeah.
I knew the kind of oval one.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of forget the
There's a
just the
rectangle.
round
There's a
one.
rect- there's
the
an off
rectangle. Yeah. Yeah.
And the
so I'm
boot.
kind
And
of
the boot.
And the boot. I know the boot.
I know this way better than any gym station I've been trying to go to the gym. So I asked, "Can I have the boot?"
Did you say all boots? Give me all boots.
I didn't want to be that guy. I just wanted to make sure I had boots.
Was there an extra charge?
Well, so I said, "May I have boots?"
Yeah.
And the young lady stared at me, and she asked. She didn't form a question. She just said, "Boots?" with the question mark on the end.
Yeah. Like boots?
Yeah. And I said, well, and so I didn't know if she was asking if I wanted actual boots or if she knew what I meant and
Right.
wasn't sure I knew what I meant.
Yeah.
And I said, "No, the boot as in the chicken nugget boot." And she said, "Well, they come in a box."
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay." I'll just take 10 chicken nuggets.
Just hope for the best. Hope you get at least one.
Part of me, the asshole of me, wanted to keep going, but I was like, okay, she's genuinely not sure, so I don't want to be that much of a dick. So I just said, okay, 10. I did get boots, which was good, and I ordered the mustards,
Mustard and honey.
and a honey.
Yes.
A mustard and a honey. I went and sat down. I opened the 2, put them beside each other. I looked at them for a while. I decided in what method, because I forgot, was it honey mustard or mustard then honey?
Doesn't matter.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I tried both,
Yeah.
and there was a difference.
Yeah, there's 2 different sauces. Of course there's a difference.
No, and in which
In
order
order.
you dip them
Okay.
is a difference.
Well, yeah, one would be one would be the other.
Okay, he doesn't understand. Rosie, you're with me. I can
get
tell.
you.
Okay. So I turned the boot. It surprised me how awkward it felt to hold the nugget in a way I've never held it before. And you're not ready for that. It's like eating a hot dog straight in, like straight down the middle, instead of from the end. Like it really throws you off.
Nobody would do that.
Right. It feels weird from the way you normally do it. So I held it, put it in honey first,
Okay.
then mustard.
You dipped them together? I didn't say dip them together.
Oh, see, that's where we're getting mixed up
Yeah.
here. I thought you said.
I thought you said dip it together.
No, hell no. You psychopath.
You said mustard, and
Yes,
then make
try
sure you get
both.
the honey to try both.
Yes, to try them both. Don't eat them together.
Oh, so you wanted just honey,
and
just
the hot mustard.
Okay.
You got to try them separately.
Okay,
Only a monster would eat those together.
Yeah, and do you know why I know that? Because every fucking person there was staring at me like I was killing a baby seal.
Oh my god.
They just thought, oh.
This is a pretty easy set of homework right
I thought it was too.
Apparently not.
I went honey, I went mustard. The mustard had a really hard time staying on the honey, dip wise, because it just slid off. As a oil based dip would not stick to honey. So I thought, okay, well, this isn't the way to do it. Turned it around, mustard. This is a really good podcast, Rosie. Mustard,
Yeah.
then honey,
Yeah.
and it stayed on.
Why wouldn't you text me
Mustard, because this is my homework.
during this? Am I doing this right?
I was
I would have been
working
like,
my-
no, you're not.
I didn't think. I thought it was weird homework, so I just assumed you were what you had said.
Okay.
And so the problem was the other one, mustard honey, worked, but it tasted shittier because then you just taste the honey exterior overcoats the mustard interior, and it wasn't as good.
This is the dumbest segment we've ever done.
We went to McDonald's yesterday, and my little 7-year-old, cutest little thing in the world, she likes to order a Happy Meal with her nuggets. And even though there's only 4 in there, she wants 2 dipping sauces. So she asks for another sweet and sour. So she says, "Can I have 2 sweet and sours?" And then the girl just types it in. And I said, "Wait a minute. Did you just charge her for that?" She said, "Yeah, they're 30 cents. I'm like, She's 7. You're charging a 7-year-old? I never knew that before. I never knew that you get charged. So you got charged for your honey.
I did, yeah.
Mustard.
I think I could charge
and
$1 for the fucking
yeah.
honey. But you know what? She got to learn capitalism early.
Oh, that's garbage.
This is
Let me
life.
tell you, I'm never going to McDonald's again this week.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it. Not this week. I like that.
So long, awkward story short, I did your homework.
You did not do my homework.
The chicken made me feel awkward. The dips were not good tasting. So yeah, that I don't know what your excitement was about.
Well, first off, you didn't do it right.
Well,
So
I did it right.
I mean, the hot mustard by itself is amazing. The honey by itself is amazing.
Corbyn's going to get mad at me. I only do sweet and sour.
Thank you.
Yes, too. I don't
Because
get it.
we're the normal ones.
There's so many things better than sweet and sour. But, guys, you do you. You do you.
All right. Homework review done. I've got one for you.
Yeah.
It's better than what you gave me.
Okay, again, it wasn't because you didn't do it.
Okay. Well, it's better, though. I think it's better.
All right.
What I did was better. Okay.
Okay.
Top 5. That takes
Yeah.
to top 5.
Can I interrupt here? I got
Well, yeah.
I got a top 5.
Whoa.
I brought my own.
Brought your own top 5?
We have a guest top 5?
Brought my own.
Is
top
that
5.
allowed?
I don't know. Let's
Can I do
check
it?
with our producers.
Can I do my own?
Hold on. Producer, hold on.
She's upstairs.
Yeah, we're getting the
upstairs.
thumb up. I'm getting the thumb up for Rose. Okay, so we have a guest top 5.
All right, I'm in.
Super
This
excited.
could go anywhere.
This could go anywhere.
Walk us through top 5, Rose.
I'm a big fan of the podcast.
Oh,
So
we have one.
I have came up with my top 5 favorite moments from the Radical Apathy podcast.
I'm surprised you got 5.
there we go. Wow.
And I'm doing this. I'm not doing this as your boss or anything. This is
No.
just as a fan.
Yeah.
Just as a listener.
All right.
Can I do that?
Yeah,
I'm excited.
absolutely.
Yeah. So 5 is your worst, going to your favorite, or how did you set it?
The first 4 are just kind of thrown together.
Okay, yeah.
randomly.
That's like our.
But,
That's like most.
but number one's a definite number one.
Number 1's a definite number 1, and you guys will know it when I get there.
Okay.
Okay, I'm excited. Walk us, take us on a trip.
Sure, number 5 or one of the top 5 is your vast knowledge. You guys are both very smart, and I didn't know that. I didn't know Tanner was smart. I work with him at the poultry farm, and the two of us never really communicate like that. And I didn't know you were so smart. Like last week when you guys talked about the secret menu, I had no idea.
Oh, you didn't know the secret menu existed.
I didn't know that you could go to restaurants and order something off of the menu.
Yeah.
When you ordered your banana split blizzard,
Yeah.
Corbyn, it blew my mind. I didn't know you can do that.
Yeah.
See, because I love nerds. Can I go to Dairy Queen and order a Nerds Blizzard?
If they have nerds. maybe.
See, that's the problem is
Yeah.
that I don't think, Sparky working at the front till has nerds.
But that's
under
what
the
we
counter.
got to ask. If you came with nerds, think they'd do it?
Yeah.
Oh,
Put these
Came
in
with a
there.
pocket of nerds?
that's not bad because they used to do it. You know how they have their specialty?
Yeah.
They used to have nerds, but I think I was the only one that ever got them.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So thank you for that. I appreciate that. And your knowledge of pop culture. I go to my favorite website is IMDb,
Yeah.
which my wife calls I'm a douchebag. I go to it all the time, and I thought I knew a lot, but I think you guys know more than me.
I'll replace your IMDb.
Oh, is
sir.
there something better?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, go.
First off, we have to kind of touch on something last year because I don't know if it's on Android. Do you have an iOS phone?
I have this one.
Is that an Apple phone?
Yes.
Okay, so I couldn't tell from here.
Don't get me into the tech talk because that's coming up too.
Okay.
Don't
jump ahead.
I've started using one called Call Sheet,
Okay.
and it is basically an IMDb replacement. Like it'll link things to IMDb if you want to look at the trivia of something or
Right.
or the parental guidance.
Yep.
But it's just a clean interface, no ads experience of IMDb.
Yeah.
Call Sheet. Big fan.
See, I like to do that because I like to watch a movie and then immediately go to the trivia of that
Yes.
movie.
Me too.
And lay in bed and tell my wife stuff, and she's going, "You're such a
Hey,
douchebag."
did you know the guy in that movie once voiced the pig?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do that a lot too.
Can I go to my next one?
Please.
Okay. Now
You'll find that we
now,
do this.
I flattered you a lot with that first one, and I wrote down your dumbness with the second one, but I don't. That's a little mean. But I do. One of my favorite parts was right off the bat when you guys talked about how you wanted to do your top five list. Everything's going to be top 5. And Corbyn comes out with his top 7.
Wreck the rules day one.
Day one, about
Day
6
one,
minutes
you wrecked
in.
the rules.
Okay, we're going to do a top 5 every week. Today I got 7. Like, do you think Letterman in his 39 years on television ever said, let's do 12. Let's do a top 12 list tonight?
You should have.
You might still be on if you did.
Trailblazer here.
I see why you did it, but it was still pretty.
We laid the foundational rules of our world,
Yeah.
and you immediately broke them.
I think this was the same cast as well, where you were trying to get to know Corbyn and you asked him if he didn't live in Canada, where would he like to live? Do you remember his response?
Toronto. Which some people might argue, but yeah.
That is true. Some people might say that. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty good. This is another one. I don't know if you guys are old enough, like I am, to ever watch Arsenio Hall, but he always did things that make you go,
I remember that. That's a good point.
And you guys last podcast talked about shitbag
Yeah.
as the greatest insult. And I just never thought about that because mine is always piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're like,
Right.
you're such a piece of shit. You just say that.
Yep.
And then somebody on the street, you said, is that how that
Yeah.
worked? Called his buddy a shitbag. And I thought, that is true. That is the ultimate insult that you could give somebody.
And the guy had no clue.
No. No.
The other guy got owned.
Yeah. Let's just think about it. That was
Everyone,
the
everyone,
worst.
just remember when you go out tomorrow, just try and find your shit bag.
Yeah.
Try and lay it out there. Try and find your spot.
I got a mini schnauzer at home. I got a bunch of shit
Oh,
bags. If you want to come grab some of those. Number two-ish.
Number two-ish.
On this list. I think you guys are funny. And again, I don't want to come on here and just be... I called you dumb already.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you did.
it hasn't been
Yeah.
all nice.
But you guys were watching, you said, Tanner, that you were watching a movie and you cried twice in it.
Yeah.
And Corbyn thought the exact same thing I did when I was listening, is like, where did you cry? As in what scene? And you said, my eyeballs? I thought that was really good. You guys talked about what's the Flowers of the Attic Moon or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Flowers of the Attic.
Incest.
No, the one. Oh no, the new one with
Rebel Moon.
DiCaprio and
Oh,
Killers of the Flower
Killers of the
Moon.
Flower. Sorry, the attic was the incest one.
Flowers in the Attic.
Yeah, that wasn't funny. That was just weird.
Yeah.
And you guys talked how it was 3.5 hours long, and you Corbyn talked about how he has. I don't want to get into it too much because we are trying to
spoilers,
promote a good message here, but you haven't talked to your friends out of a suicide watch for 3.5 hours, let alone watch a movie for 3.5 hours. I thought that was good, and I liked your Tanner, your sex ed teacher was like a 71-year-old man, and that you still don't know where a vagina is.
No. Tried again, didn't work.
That made me LOL. I don't LOL too many times, but I was going to actually LOL you because that was really funny. So good on you guys. And the number one reason why I love you,
number one.
and why this is a good podcast is because I absolutely hate The Big Bang Theory.
Yes, absolutely.
I hate it, and no one else has ever seemed to be in my corner.
I think there's more of us than we think.
But do you think maybe people don't admit it because it is such a popular show?
I had 2 people comment on our page today that we were wrong about the Big Bang Theory.
that we're wrong?
That were just wrong.
Were they over 75? Because it's such a lazy show.
exactly
It is
what
the
it is.
laziest show. Because I
exactly
remember
what it
when
is.
it first came out and I saw Kaylee Cuoco and I'm like, ooh, I might want to watch this.
Yeah.
And then I gave it about 6 minutes and didn't laugh once and saw the jokes coming and I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah.
This show sucks.
Yeah.
It's got the bare naked lady singing the opening song, which is okay, which is good. I kind of like the bare naked ladies.
He's Canadian, right?
But after that,
Yeah.
it falls.
Yeah.
So I love that you guys talk about it and hate it as much as I do.
Yes.
Because I do.
Buys that show.
I really I
You
hate.
guys should talk about it more. You guys should
No, we
talk
can't.
about it once every episode.
We can't because
Because what, they might sponsor?
no. Well, oh my,
This show,
Sponsor this.
this
Sponsor
podcast,
this podcast.
brought to you by
please sponsor
Jim
this
Parsons.
podcast. Jim Parsons.
Brought to you by the Big Bang Theory.
What a wonderful show!
That's the one thing we can get rid of.
Great top five, Rosie.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
great
you like
top
that?
five.
You know what?
I hope that makes
had-
you guys better.
It had to do a lot about me, so I was happy with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. And it proves you've listened at least to a chunk of the show.
I've listened to every single show.
Everyone?
Well, I fast forward some,
Yeah.
but I listened to a lot. We can get into later why I was
Yep.
fast forwarding. But,
Yeah,
oh,
no, that's fair.
okay.
Is there any takeaway you want out of that, Corbyn?
Go.
Because you haven't had, aside from me commenting on how old and ridiculous you are.
Yeah.
You haven't really had any proper constructive criticism from an expert.
Yeah.
So coming now from an expert. Okay, was it?
Very loosely.
I want to get the terminology right.
Yep.
Was it DJ? Was it radio host? Was it personality? What was it?
That's a good question because I was never really a DJ. I was never the guy that spun the tunes. I was never that guy. I was more the co-host.
Okay.
So I would say radio host
Radio
would probably
host.
be better.
Okay.
I did the news and the sports and I was the giggle girl.
Yeah.
Basically,
Yeah.
I would laugh at the
Oh.
the DJ's joke all the time and stuff. So
Okay.
host is fine.
So you're
So I wouldn't necessarily say I'm a DJ.
okay. Would your partner have been the DJ?
My partner would have been the DJ, yes.
Okay. Out of this situation,
Yep.
now that you're our obviously biggest fan, who's the DJ? Who's the co-host?
I think Corbyn is the DJ.
I think Corbyn's the DJ too.
Yeah. I think he just controls the show more.
Yeah,
Tries to reel you in because you go off sometimes.
I do.
Yeah.
It's
Corbyn's the professional.
I'm the professional.
that's what I've heard most of my life.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Synonymous with me.
So sorry.
Professional.
What are you going to take away from that, Corbyn? As a learning tool, as a developmental plug from your expert here. What'd you take away from
From the
that?
top five?
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep doing what we're doing, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what we're doing. Because we're having fun, I think it shows.
Yeah.
That we're having fun.
Yeah.
And I think that matters. Because if we weren't enjoying it, we wouldn't be as effective.
That's true. Can I make just some takeaway from?
Sure.
Did you notice how his top five had 5 things?
Well,
Yeah.
actually,
I did notice that.
did they though? They had a lot.
I mean, it
different.
rolled, but I mean,
Yeah.
there's 5 defined points. I mean,
Yeah, that was the top five.
If I was going to take some away.
Well played, Rosie.
Thanks.
Well played.
Rosie, every guest we got a lot of questions for.
First question we ask every time.
Every time.
What's your favorite movie?
Oh,
And I've got a new question. I'm just going to say this. I've got a new question.
Rules.
Hear me out. I got a new question I'm going to ask because it just came to my head last night. I got mad about something. Long story. But I'm going to ask the second question to every one of our guests.
Oh, okay.
My favorite movie, I have 3.5. And I'm going to give you 3.5 too, because first off, it's Die Hard.
Yeah.
Any guy, especially over the age of 30, that doesn't list Die Hard as one of his top 10 movies should be, well,
Die-hearted.
beaten up.
Yeah.
Yippee-ki-yay, because
Yeah.
that movie is a classic.
We have a friend. I'm not going to name her name, Allie, but she got
Spoilers.
Spoilers.
Yeah, spoilers.
Spoilers. She got Yippee-ki-yay tattooed on her arm.
she
Yes.
does?
Wow.
Which should attract most men.
Really?
Until they see
Yeah.
that they spelled it wrong.
See, I tried to text Tanner the other day, yippee-ki-yay, and I had no idea how to spell it. How do you spell it?
Well, what we did.
How does she
I know how
spell
not
it?
to.
Well, she spelled it yippee with one P.
Okay.
Okay,
Yep.
so what I did
yipe.
anyway. I went to the Die Hard, and I turned on the closed captions.
Okay.
And it was 2 P's.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Yippee is 2 P's.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. That's a good way to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you watch the TV version where they say yippee-ki-yay,
Oh,
Mr.
no.
Falco?
Mr. Falcon. Mr. Falcon.
That's right.
Yippee-ki-yay, Mr. Falcon. No, they no. I actually showed my 12-year-old the Die Hard for the first time this year. It was
Nice.
great.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's number one.
Number one.
One-ish. Also number one, I'm interested to hear your guys' feedback on this one. Jurassic Park.
Really?
Yep. It was the only movie that I've ever sat in that people clapped at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I'd never seen that, and I just kind of looked around and also decided to clap. But just the first time you see like the Brontosaurus, or I don't even know what they were, but the big ones,
Yep.
you're just kind of looking at each other going, this is amazing. Like
Yeah.
Spielberg did this.
Yeah.
Like this is incredible.
Yeah, it still stands up today.
I remember how.
Well, it does, because it does still seem a little fake now when you see it.
Well, there's dinosaurs in it.
Yeah, but dinosaurs are real. Have you not
sorry.
seen The Lost World?
I had a buddy. That's what I had a buddy tell me. He's like, "Well, Lost World wasn't as good as Jurassic Park. It wasn't as realistic." I'm like, "Why? Because the dinosaur was walking through the city at the end. Is that why it wasn't realistic?"
If my dinosaurs aren't in the jungles, I'm not fucking watching them.
Don't
Okay.
get into that. So that's my number 2-ish and my number 3-ish. And I can't believe you guys have never talked about this.
Really?
I want
Oh.
to punch both of you in the face for this.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption. Do you guys not like it?
Yeah, I'll get into why.
That's you don't like it.
Oh.
No, I'll get into why we haven't mentioned it.
Oh, okay.
But yeah.
Yeah,
because
I
I
do
love
love that movie.
Because you guys have talked about a lot of movies on this show, and that's not one of them. And to me, it's like IMDb has it as their number one. Like
Yeah.
it is that good of a movie,
Yeah.
and yet you guys, who I idolize, never talk about it.
Our
But I want to hear why.
one true listener. Corbyn.
Why?
DJ Corbyn.
Why haven't I talked about it yet? Is that the
Why,
question?
yeah, why have you not talked about Shawshank? Well, you can touch on the
You
other
guys have
movies.
talked about a lot of movies.
I'll use what my son told my wife one time when she was giving him shit for not doing something properly. And he said, because it didn't come into my head when you asked me to.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Yeah,
So that's kind of the same thing
Yeah.
for me. It just didn't come into my head when we were doing things.
that's fair. Do you like it?
I do like it.
Am I fair to say
No,
that? Okay.
stunning
You guys aren't
movie.
going to
Stunning movie.
ridicule me?
No,
No.
definitely not.
Okay.
Die Hard, yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
I think it was in my top 5.
Yeah.
Yeah. Perfect action movie.
Yeah.
Perfect villain.
Yeah.
Great movie.
Okay. Move on.
Jurassic Park, yeah. Also up there, not in my top 5, just because my other top 5 were better, but yeah, I mean, Jurassic Park still
I remember
fabulous.
1993. Were you alive in 1993?
Yeah.
Okay, so in 1993, I remember at our local theater, it was like they only had like 6 theaters back then.
In the world.
At the place. And one of them was showing Jurassic Park. And it was days. You had to wait days and days and days and days to get into that movie. Like,
Yep.
it was so popular. And then you were packed in there. And then you could feel the crowd just be like, I completely agree with what you're saying. You could hear them just be involved in
Yeah.
this movie and how much it was, how good it was. I had one other movie where people clapped at the end, though.
Oh, what is it?
It happened during Avengers Endgame. It was opening night of Avengers Endgame, and not only did people clap, they were cheering through the whole movie, like actual cheering.
Oh,
It was crazy.
What about the Taylor Swift movie? You guys seen that one? Because
Yeah,
you'll
totally.
you'll cheer at the end of that one too.
We've seen
I've been watching the Taylor Swift movie every Sunday.
Yes, you have.
several times.
Go Chiefs.
Shawshank Redemption
Yeah.
is a good movie. Yes. No one can say it's not. Good time, good pacing, good story. However,
Yeah.
the reason why it's not up there for me is because of the people my sister and I colloquially refer to as shankers. A shanker is a douchebag. And all douchebags, if you ask them what their favorite movie is, they say Shawshank Redemption because they think it's a deep movie, and they say, "Oh, it's the Shank, bro. It's the Shank Shawshank. You see Shawshank? Have you seen fucking Shawshank?
Do they all talk like that?
Yeah, well, yeah, douchebags." And then that's what they do. So
You just called me a douche.
because
Come at me, bro.
yeah,
And also Italian.
have
at the
you
same
not
time.
fucking seen Shawshank Redemption? I'll eat this fucking pasta in front of you, bro, while I eat it. No, Shankers, for that reason, I'm out.
Wow.
I think it's an excellent movie. And
It's a good movie.
It is, and
Can't
it
say
is
it's not.
It is deep. It is. It's got a lot of layers to it.
it's a guy getting out of prison. It's not fucking that.
Yeah, but you don't know that. And I remember seeing that in
Yeah,
the
that was a
theater, and I
twist.
didn't know that because I don't read. So I wasn't reading the book.
Yeah.
So I went there not knowing how this was happening. And I'm
Yeah.
like, where did he go?
Shawshank,
Where is he?
Shawshank was one of the best. It was a surprise. It was a twist ending. It was a twist ending.
But
movie.
that doesn't mean it's deep.
Yeah,
that just means it's a
deep.
good ending.
No, it's
Did
deep.
you see
It's
how
not
deep,
deep.
that tunnel was? It was pretty deep. It was
Listen.
that was deep.
And it's not about Andy Dufresne's journey either. It's about Red's journey. Why are you laughing at? The movie's about.
It was narrated by Red, even though Andy was the main. Red was the narrator.
It was about Red's journey to getting from one place to another. That's why it was.
How much do either one of you have a tattoo that says Brooks was here?
I don't have any tattoos, so I'm not getting that one as my first one.
I don't like anything enough to put on my body. Do you have a tattoo?
I don't either.
No, like I don't.
yep.
Like I don't know what to put on there.
My argument was always, when I win the Stanley Cup or the Super Bowl or whatever trophy, I would get that tattooed with my team logo on it.
Yeah.
But
That's
so
good.
far,
Okay.
I haven't won it.
No, me
That's
neither.
fair.
So it's probably not going to happen.
No.
What would we have to do to get Corbyn? Because you're a big sports guy.
Yeah.
You're a big sports guy.
I'm a big sports
Okay.
guy. Yep. That's
So
why Corbyn
that's
and I
good,
are
'cause
best friends.
That's
Thank
right.
God someone's
So
a sports
I
guy.
need you to fact check me, okay? Because I know nothing about it. What would it take for your sports team?
Yeah.
If they won the sports game, like the big final one, the big trophy.
Yep.
What's Rosie? What's the trophy called in football?
I think the Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
Right. Is that the name of the trophy?
Well, my team.
Yeah.
Let me clarify here. My team actually, one of my teams actually did win in 2019.
No. Hold on.
Okay.
You don't get one of my teams. You have a team.
No, there's 4 different sports.
Yeah.
One of my 4.
Oh,
I
sorry.
think that's
Okay.
the same team that won for me. See, me and Corbyn are tight.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about the football sports.
Okay. Football sports.
Football sports. Which one? Okay. Which one do you like more? Which sports is your favorite?
Baseball's my favorite.
Okay, back up. Baseball sports.
That's called the
You're
World
wearing,
Series.
you're wearing a baseball hat.
Yes.
So
I'm a
you know
huge
baseball.
Blue Jays fan.
Okay, perfect. You are also a Blue Jays fan, I
That's
imagine.
correct.
'Cause you're surprising. So if the Blue Jays, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
are notoriously bad at sports because they're in Toronto.
That's not true.
Okay, well.
I like Splash.
Anyway,
Anyway, have they won ever?
yes.
Yes, twice.
92, 93.
Okay, so back when there were 6 movie theaters.
What's your point?
What is the question?
If they were to win the
World Series.
World Series,
Sure.
what would you then get a tattoo?
Yes,
Would you?
I would.
Yeah, see,
That's
I
something
would.
I would-
I'd have to be playing.
Okay.
And I'm not playing. Unless they've asked me
I mean,
to throw out the first pitch and they go, "Ooh, Rosie, we really like your arm. Would you mind pitching the 6th inning for us?" I'm kind of hoping that happens at some point.
Put his name on the board.
That's right. Would you? You'd get a Blue Jays.
I would get it after we win. Not after Toronto. I didn't do it after Toronto Raptors, but
Yeah.
after
But the Blue Jays, Blue Jays, you would.
Yeah. See, I was when they won the last time. I was too young to know. What
Yeah,
was
you're
going on.
only 40. You only had a mortgage at the time.
like just their logo. You'd get just their logo on your lower back.
I get the year, maybe the logo,
Yeah.
something like that.
On the lower back.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I do something
Sure.
like that. When the Raptors
else
won,
would you get it?
I bought a replica championship ring. It sits
I
on
have
my
one
desk.
as well. I was going to wear mine.
Yeah, it sits on my desk.
Yep, I got a Blue Jay ones as well.
Do you?
You can go.
Yeah.
Corbyn and I can just talk
I
about.
find it fascinating though. Like
Turn
I
in your
just,
paddle, pal.
I can just sit here. I'm like the audience. I'm just listening to these two people.
You're just not radical apathy anymore.
I'm not. I'm. Well, no. I think I'm the only one being radical here.
That's maybe fair. Can I just mention real quick my last half favorite movie? 'Cause
Yeah.
I did
Oh,
say
yeah,
3.5. Almost anything involving Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You know what? Me too.
Yeah,
I
like-
love Tom Cruise movies.
A Few Good Men, Edge of Tomorrow, obviously all the Mission Impossible. I just watched Cocktail the other night.
Jack Reacher.
Jack Reacher. I liked Reacher.
First Reacher was one of the best action movies
Loved it.
I've ever seen.
And the people who read the book, again, didn't read the book,
Yeah.
hated it because that's not what Reacher looks like
Yeah.
in the book. But I love the movie. I think
Yeah.
it's fantastic. I don't think he's made too many bad movies.
no.
Like, I'm a big fan, but I couldn't pick just one, so I'll
Yep.
just say Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
You guys should try and get him on this podcast.
Next week.
He's asked.
Next week.
He has asked to come on,
Yeah.
or you guys have asked
No, he's
him?
reached out a few times. We said, "Yeah, Tom. You know,
We'll see.
we're starting out. We need our foundation. We need our Rosies. We need our people.
We'll see.
We get hold of them. Yeah.
Okay, my second question, which I'm going to ask
Okay.
you, only when we have guests, because we go and we talk about people's backgrounds.
Yeah.
And I was at one of my backgrounds yesterday, and I'm like, man, I wonder if it's like this everywhere.
I was at one of my backgrounds.
We don't talk about. We're part-time actors now.
So you're at a gig.
Was the toilet paper bad at your last job?
Oh, that is a great
Was
question.
the toilet paper bad at my radio job?
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It seems like it's like no matter where you look, the toilet paper is terrible.
Can you go at work?
Yeah,
okay.
I have to.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's part of my anxiety is that I gotta go.
Have you ever just
At work.
Have you ever in the middle of the show
Sorry.
just ducked out and been like, okay, hey, cover me, I
yeah.
gotta go.
Many times.
Yeah?
That's why you really appreciate like 4.5-minute songs, and you're like,
Yeah.
I'm gone.
Yeah.
Like I will be back in 4
Did
minutes
it ever
and 20 seconds.
And did it ever go longer than 4 minutes and 20 seconds?
No, I tried not to.
Okay, that's
then you
fair.
just stop it, and then you come do your break, and then you go back if you have to.
All right. So let's ask a couple questions about this. How did you get into radio? How did we start?
Anyway,
good.
segue.
I thought we were still talking about this.
No, let's get into the ply situation.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to ask this question to everybody because I'm really interested in how it's criminal what these companies are getting away with.
Well, yeah.
With the toilet paper they provide their employees.
But toilet paper's not cheap. Like, if you have to go to Costco and buy the nice stuff, that's expensive.
And
whereas the ones that we use in all of our jobs,
Yeah.
they're like, whatever,
But-
here's 4 cents.
But you have to use 4 times as much to make it even remotely as good as the regular
What
one.
are you
Maybe.
What are you doing in there? What's going on there,
Making
Corb?
forts.
You know what? Don't pretend like I am not just spinning the truth right now.
I have a bidet.
At work?
Yeah, I bring a bidet with me to work.
Wait, I'm going to write that down as one of my favorite parts of the Radical
Wow.
Yeah.
podcast. A bidet. How do you spell bidet?
Bidet. Bidet.
Okay.
You have a work bidet?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Oh my god.
I don't think I'd like a bidet.
I work with you at Burger King, and I don't know where that bidet is.
Because I put it back in my vehicle when I'm done.
Oh, you do?
I'm not letting you
It's a
heathens
portable
use it.
one. Got
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, it's you
Got
plug
it.
you plug and play.
Yeah.
Guys.
Oh.
Bidet. It's changed your life. Those are 2 good questions.
Thank you.
Rosie, as the expert, how did you feel with those first 2 questions?
Give him a thumbs up.
Oh, we're doing so good.
Okay, you want to know how I got started?
Yeah, how'd you get into radio?
How'd you get into radio?
I didn't know what else to do.
Okay.
That's yeah, that's it. No, I actually went to school to be on air, like TV, to be like a sportscaster or a newscaster.
Yeah.
And I got into. There were 4 different parts. There was film, television, broadcast news, and radio. And I went into television thinking, oh, television, I want to be on television. But once the program started, I realized, no, that's like floor director and camera operator and all this. So I had to switch with somebody who was in the broadcast news program, which is what the anchors were. But no one would switch with me. So someone in radio said, hey, I want to switch. I want to get out of this. This is a dying industry. I don't want to do this. So I switched with him. So I got into radio, and then I just got a job when I was done my 2 years in radio. Got a job in the rural parts of the world and said, I'm going to be here for 3 months and then get the hell out of here. And I was there for 3 years and then made it to this lovely city and worked here for 22 years.
Interesting.
Yep. So I kind of fell into it. But people kind of always did say, oh, Rosie, you got a nice radio voice. You should work in radio. I said, screw you. I don't want to.
Were you mostly by yourself then for most of your career then?
No, I was always with somebody.
Yeah.
I'm not good by myself.
Okay.
I like to be able to, talk with other people, go back and forth.
Yeah.
Doing something by myself is, again, doing radio by myself.
Oh, sorry. Okay. I was about to leave.
just wasn't something that I wanted to do. I always had to be a co-host.
I don't like radio stations with just one host.
It's really hard to do. It's
boring.
really hard to do, and they're awful. There's nobody good at it.
No.
Howard Stern, he's the best in the world. Well, Howard still has a team.
Yeah.
Howard still has a lot of people with
still
him.
talks
It's
to
not
people.
just him by himself. Exactly. So, yeah, the people that do it and do it well are few and far between. Our good friend Ryan Seacrest. That might be it.
How does he keep getting work?
Have you seen him? That guy is handsome.
But he's on radio.
That's true. But we all know what he looks like.
I know.
Yeah. You see here, there's no cameras.
No cameras here.
Thank goodness.
Can never disappoint anybody because nobody's expecting anything.
That's right.
What was the one thing you took away from your time in post-secondary to go into this, to go to the gig? Like, what was the one thing you took away, like the one good thing to know?
We'll call it bring it to the show.
The one thing that I took away from university?
Yeah.
I don't know if there was a whole lot, because there was a lot of people it's funny because I think we had 20 people graduate from the radio program, and I think 3 of them went on to work in radio. Wow. 3 of them, because a lot of them were like, you're not going to make it. You got to go to the rural parts of the world, start there, and work your way up. Not everybody just starts in Los Angeles or New York or Toronto. It doesn't happen that way. So it was just fun. It was one of those jobs that was fun to do, and I've always tried to have jobs that I enjoy. and I know you guys probably are the same, and hopefully most people who have good jobs like their jobs, and radio was just fun.
Yeah.
We never made a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's for sure, but it was an enjoyable, and people ask me at work at Burger King all the time, like, do you miss radio? And of course I miss it, because it was fun. It was a fun job every single day.
That's nice.
Yeah.
So it's fun here with you, Corbyn.
Yeah, I have fun with you too.
That's a good segue. I'm not going to follow the question track here. I'm going to pull a Corbyn and change the rules because you said obviously you're no longer in radio. I did some Googling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, you're a big radio personality in this town of which we live.
Yeah.
I think that's fair to say.
Okay. Sure.
So much in fact, when I Googled you, the first thing that came up was a Reddit post by Squeaky Wheels.
Okay.
And I have it here. So Squeaky Wheels.
Can you read it to me?
Squeaky Wheels said, title, "What happened to Rosie?"
Oh. Yeah.
And it says, "Was listening to Rock 106 and Rosie's gone. Where'd he go? He's one of my favorite personalities. Super chill and laid back. He's not on the website anymore. ... I hope he's doing okay."
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for leaving your real name as well, Squeaky Wheel.
Yeah, Squeaky Wheel. Just, thanks, Mom. Thanks for posting, Mom. Appreciate it.
Is that Mrs. Rosie? Okay. Yeah.
There are some, then it goes in to people talking, like people talk on the Reddit thread.
Yeah. About what I went on and did?
Well, no, about why they think you don't work there anymore.
Oh.
Are there some good theories there?
There's interesting theories in there.
Let's see if these are true. Can we confirm or deny if any of these are true?
Okay, can I throw a couple at you and you tell me if they're true or not?
Yeah.
Does it have anything? I'm not going to go into the whole details of it, but I'm going to throw out the generality.
Right.
Does it have anything to do with you and a bear?
It does not. No.
Okay.
No bears.
No bears, guys.
I did often say every single time. That's good you brought that up and someone else did, because I did talk quite a bit that I think I could take a bear. I could take a bear.
Really?
I could fight a bear and survive it.
That's foreshadowing future questions I have for you. But we're going to
So that's probably why somebody said that.
Is. Okay, we're going to come back to that. It does have something about bear.
Okay.
Love triangle with Cliff.
No, not true.
Okay. No love triangles.
No.
Okay.
A love triangle with Vince.
No, also not
Okay.
true.
No,
Two of the
not
guys
true.
I worked with.
Yeah,
Two of the
okay.
DJs, if you will. Not true.
And you bought Kiss Radio.
Oh, also not true.
Okay.
Again, I worked in radio, so I couldn't afford that. I couldn't barely afford my groceries, let alone buying a radio station. So, no, those are not true.
And then it goes off on this. I don't know who this person is. I don't
Yeah.
know if this is just a missing joke over my head. But it says, anyone else find Poncho annoying as shit?
Oh, okay.
I don't know who or what that was.
That's the person who replaced us. In the
People.
morning.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Sorry. So,
Okay.
sorry, Poncho, but Reddit is not a fan.
No, and I got that a lot, and I know Poncho, and he's a good guy, but
Yeah.
not for everybody. It was simply a company move, and they just laid us off. It's one of those things.
One of those things.
You got laid off, and that's what happened. There's
Who is-
nothing
okay.
sexy about it.
So, no cool. You fought a
Nope.
bear while having a love triangle, while
Nope.
buying a company. Just
Even our program director from Winnipeg was phoning all around Canada. Sorry to our Portuguese listeners that we are in Canada, yes. And was just phoning and laying off a whole bunch of people. And I was one of them.
is that common in the radio space?
More and more it's starting to be,
Yeah.
yes. Because people are now able to do it in remote locations. You can just kind of tape a show, which is what they're doing at our old radio station. Yeah.
So, is there anything live?
The morning show is live, but out of a different city.
Wow.
So even our city doesn't have local radio, at least on our station.
Well, that's going to be one of my questions for follow up, because one of the local things I want to know, how difficult was it for you to, whether you were genuinely interested or if you were feigning hype for local activities that you had to pump on the radio.
Yeah.
What was it? How was it pumping yourself up to talk about the local activities
Right.
going on, the going-ons in your local city every week?
Sometimes it's pretty hard. It's very hard. Luckily, we were always had, because we were a rock station, we could kind of steer away from that, push local all the time.
Yep.
Because I don't know how you guys feel. I hear push local and the local announcers, and it's just awful. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to care. I don't want to listen to about the food market that's happening this weekend. I'd rather hear about, some other things that are happening in the world. So it wasn't easy.
Yeah.
For sure. You'd hear stories that your friends would tell, and you're like, ooh, that's a really good story. Can I use that Monday morning on my radio show, and I can be that guy? And they're like, sure. And then they'll listen and be like, that's me. And I'm like, I know, you told me I could use it. I said it was me. So you have to lie a little bit or a lot in that job. But
Yeah, so I guess that goes to my follow-up question. What went into prepping a morning show, like, for material?
yeah, a lot of reading, not books, but a lot of reading, like websites and stuff after you're done work. Like, we were usually done by 9:30 in the morning, and you'd stay there for, a few hours and get ready for the next show. And I did a lot. I coached my kids in soccer, in baseball, in hockey. I was out there in the community a lot doing that sort of stuff. So you could always get bits, if you will, from doing that. And again, you have friends who'd say, you'll never believe what happened to me. And then you'd just take that story and be like, this happened to me the other day. And people would be like, Rosie has the most incredible life ever, when really I don't. I'm in bed by 8:30 every single night. I am a loser, but I have an amazing life on air.
Have you always had trouble opening your man crate?
What's my man crate? This will be good.
Again, when I was doing some
Do I get something? Is this my prize for
No,
being
I
on the
found
show?
I found a video of you guys doing live YouTube video openings of crates,
I do remember that. That was a long time ago.
and you couldn't open your
And I
man
couldn't open my man crate.
crate. Yeah, I laughed. That's why I wanted to bring it up. Anyway, my actual question:
I did have trouble.
walk us through a life in the walk.
Use your words.
Walk us through a day in the life of a radio host. Basics of a shift when you walk in. What does that look like?
It's early. You get up early. You're up at 4:30. Yeah, getting into work, by 5. For me, it was like getting into work at 4:41. Because again, you're on radio. You don't care about the face a whole lot, or my 5 head. You don't worry about that sort of stuff, how you look. And then it's all about prep. And again, for me, I was the news and sports and weather guy, so I had to prepare a lot of that. And you leave the DJ to do a lot of this is what we're going to talk about. Do you have anything to say about this? So a lot of it was that. So that's and you can kind of do that either before the show starts, or you can do it during songs. I mean, in rock radio, we have a lot of 6-minute songs. So you're like, okay, well, what do you want to talk about next? So a lot of it's just kind of ad lib like that, and I like that. I'd rather do that, because there were program directors in North America that say, okay, what are you guys going to talk about at 6:10? What are you going to talk about at 6:20?
Oh, God.
What are you going to talk about at 6:35? They want your entire day planned out like that. And it's awful. Like, I could never do that. Because now you could go in and you could do a show and get a topic and just roll with it. And that's the great aspect. And then you're done at 9:30, and then you're prepping a little bit for the next day, and then you're home by 12 and in bed by 1 having your nap. Because I for 25 years I had a daily nap. I had a nap every single day.
That sounds great,
That's
though.
so nice.
Oh, it's
That
nice.
sounds great, yeah.
For sure.
That's probably why you look like you're 22 years old.
That's probably
Just had daily naps
Sure, that's
And
it.
moisturizer and daily naps.
and sunscreen. You got sunscreen.
Yeah.
Oh,
So you were at a rock station.
Yep.
Are you a rock fan, or was that something that went against the grain for you?
No, I'm kind of a rock fan, but I'm kind of a fan of everything. I grew up, I was a big 80s hair metal guy, so I was a big fan of the Motley Crues of the world, the Def Leppards and all that. So I was a fan of rock-ish music, but in this business, you work in every genre, and you don't really care. You don't really listen to the music a whole lot. I know
you don't, eh?
No, not a whole lot. I know you don't want me to work in country radio because you're not a fan. So I don't mind country now. Now that I got out of rock, I started listening to some country, and I'm like, I don't mind it. Tanner, do you hate country music?
nope. Grew up on it.
Oh, you did, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't mind it, but I know Corbyn doesn't like it, so therefore I don't like it anymore.
Corbyn does not. He really, really doesn't.
If Corbyn doesn't like it, I don't like it either.
What was okay? So you had to listen to the music sometimes, though.
Sometimes, yes.
So did you have a list that you had to see ahead of time? Like, okay, we're playing all these songs, or did you know what was coming up?
Yeah, we had a list, and our list was usually like right out of head office, so it was out of Toronto for the most part, and it never changed. You could hear the same one here as you could in Toronto as you could in Vancouver. Like it would be the same music played all across the rock radio genres. So yeah, we looked at a lot.
You looked at the list, and we're gonna play a little game.
I know. Maybe I know where you're going with this.
So you looked at the list. Which one you were like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Which song was that? I'll tell you mine after.
Okay. Mine was probably "Comfortably Numb" by Pink Floyd.
Okay.
Or anything by Rush.
Oh, wow.
And on Canadian radio, there was a lot of Rush.
Rush.
I do not like Rush.
All right.
You do?
I don't mind Rush. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
That's fair.
Not a fan.
I'm not going to get mad at you for not liking Rush. But, I don't mind Rush. Because I'm in the camp that Neil Peart is the greatest
Neil
drummer.
Peart is a great drummer.
Rosie, he's a lot more angry than he's letting on right now.
No, I'm not.
I can see the
I see the Rush posters on the wall. It's kind of why
he's wearing a Rush jersey.
Yeah, that's right.
Listen, if you wanted me to turn the channel, play "No Rain" by Blind Melon.
Oh, is that right?
I was out.
Okay. Yep.
I hated that. I hate that song so much.
And again, we played a lot.
Yeah.
You play it a lot. And there are a lot of songs where you're like, really? We just played this song yesterday at this exact same time, and you'll get it 5 days a week.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, but that's the way radio works. Because someone driving to work didn't hear that yesterday, and they love, Blind Melon. I'm like, who likes Blind Melon?
Nobody likes Blind Melon.
Blind Melon doesn't like Blind Melon.
Oh.
Obviously.
Do you have a song, Tanner?
Here's my best way to equate it. I worked at Future Shop many years ago.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when the first Killers album came out, the people running the CD and video game departments who had control over the speakers played that goddamn album every day on repeat for like 3 months straight because the girl running it just fucking loved the Killers. I can sing every song verbatim today because of that moment. And if I ever see members of the band to the Killers, I will run them over.
See, and this is why you and I are not best friends, and Corbyn and I are.
Tell me more why.
Because I thought, and maybe you still will, but I thought you were going to give me a list of like what are your top five favorite songs, and probably number one on my list is "Mr. Brightside" by the Killers.
Okay, and that's bad. I'm not saying it's bad.
It's such a wonderful song,
but I'm done. I can't handle it.
Even that one, hey, because you know what? I don't like any of the other Killer songs. I don't. But Mr. Brightside, there's just something about it that it's like, this is the greatest song ever.
Good song. A weird video. Like if you watch the
very
music
weird video.
It's a weird kind of, but I'm down. I like that.
I watched it with my 10-year-old daughter and my 7-year-old daughter, and we're like, okay, we're not going to watch this anymore.
It is incestually sexual, that video.
Yes, it is.
But no, I can't.
Okay. Killers. Hey.
I can't do it.
Right. Is this okay? I'm gonna say something controversial because I said this once out loud to a friend of mine.
Is it, you do like Rush?
No.
Like Rush.
I love Peart so much.
He lambasted me for it. I made the statement that I think Madonna's "Like a Prayer" is a top 5 song of all time.
Okay, so anyway, Rosie, when you had
no respect for "Like a Prayer."
It's
revolutionary song, revolutionary video. The arrangement,
maybe I wouldn't go top 5.
I love that song,
but top 100, maybe. Sure,
100.
You think about all the songs that are out there. Like if you came up with your top 5 of your favorite songs, and Tanner did, and I did, there's no way we're gonna have songs
anything in the same thing.
It's not like our movies, and we're all like we all love Die Hard. Yeah. Okay, that's the greatest movie ever.
Easy.
Nobody's gonna do that with music. And
that's fair.
Maybe that's the beauty of music.
That's like saying Meatloaf's "Heaven Can Wait" is the top 5 song ever. Is what you just said.
That's definitely not what I said.
That's the same equation of what you just said.
No, it's not.
That's what you just said.
I said
Can Wait. Is that even one of his songs? Oh,
that's what I mean.
It's just a movie.
Okay, fun fact: Rosie's not allowed to answer this. Who wrote all Meatloaf songs?
Oh, I couldn't answer it anyway.
You can't answer that.
No, I guarantee it wasn't him.
It was Jim Steinman. Wrote all of Meatloaf songs. And then if you hear... And then,
you guys are so smart. You have such fast knowledge.
And then Jim Steinman also wrote one of Celine Dion's songs. And when I tell you which one it is, you'll be like, oh, fuck, that is a Meatloaf song.
My heart will go on.
No.
It's a good one.
It's that one where she... Oh, what is it called? Oh, if you touch me like this and you hold me like that. Now think about that. That's totally a Meatloaf song. Meatloaf could have said
It is. Meatloaf covered it.
Jim Steinman wrote that song as well.
Another fun bit of information about Jim Steinman is that he was the helicopter pilot in the movie Jurassic Park.
Oh, really?
No. We are moving on because whatever Corbyn said was stupid.
Really? Just talking about one of the greatest songwriters of all time. No big deal.
No, but that's an interesting about Madonna. I think Madonna is revolutionary, and
she takes a lot of heat.
I don't even know if I wouldn't even consider that one of her top 10 songs in my world.
I honestly wouldn't have either.
No.
Yeah.
No,
really?
I like Madonna.
Yeah?
Yeah, and I think she's very, very talented. But Like a Prayer, I don't know if that's...
One of my greatest karaoke moments was to Like a Virgin.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Did you lose your virginity during Like a Virgin?
The microphone
awesome.
stand did.
Yeah?
Yeah. Yes, it did. It was super good. What's the hardest thing about being a radio personality?
Did I mention money at all? Did I mention that?
I think you did mention that. It seems to be a running
It sucks,
theme.
eh?
I remember the first time I got my paycheck when I was working in the rural world.
Yeah.
And I remember going to my boss, is this it? Like, am I getting more? No, that's what you get every 2 weeks. Really? I literally can't pay rent with this.
Was it a salary job or was it an hourly?
No, it was salary.
Okay.
You don't get hourly in radio. You really don't. Nobody ever gets paid hourly in radio because your hours are so screwed up. There'll be some days when you work 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
There'll be others when you work 14.
And then did you get roped into deliver pizzas during your nap time?
No, I didn't.
No,
I didn't. I didn't ever do that, and I probably should have. But
I'm talking about the radio deliver pizzas. Like, hey, you guys won the pizza lunch thing, and we're delivering it to you.
Yeah, we did that.
Yeah?
Yeah, we did that sometimes. I thought you meant get a second job.
No, not get a second
Just
job.
too lazy. already got a good job. High paying? No, but good job.
But you got roped into extracurricular activities around the city, I would imagine.
Yes, we did that a lot.
Like, hey, you're introducing this band at this concert. We're live on location.
But you know what?
Oh.
Here's the thing, and we can get into this if you want. I don't do that. I cannot do, and this is why I admire you guys a lot, I can't do public speaking.
Really?
I do not do it.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah. And many people have said, will you MC my wedding? Or can you do this?
Yeah.
I'll be like, no, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I just fear. And they're like, you talk on the radio. I'm like, yeah, but I'm talking to one guy.
Yeah.
It's just back and forth. Like, I don't worry about any of that. So whenever we had to introduce a band or something, I remember Shinedown was coming to town and they needed somebody to introduce. And everyone's like, Rosie, you love Shinedown, don't you? And I'm like, I do. And they're like, okay, can you introduce them? And I'm like, I don't love them that much. And I never did it. And I never did it. They gave it to somebody else.
Man.
I cannot do it. It drives me crazy. So getting up and speaking in front of somebody, let alone doing a play, it boggles my mind.
That's
never
normal. That's most people.
I think it is normal.
Right.
But again, that's where the admiration for you two come in because it's not easy to do.
We need to find you better people to admire because
No.
I can't eat chicken fingers right, and he fucking likes Madonna's shittiest song. So
and Rush. That's a good point. Good point.
How does that work though? So when because you hear that all the time, you have radio personalities. They do the show.
Yep.
And then they're either covering because someone's sick, or then they're, we're live on location at this place, blah, 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 blah.
Yep.
Like, how does that, do they tell you, hey, you have to go to Johnny's hot tubs today?
They do. They do tell you that because we only had, and it kept dwindling over the years, we only had 3 announcers. And they're like, we're on location at 3 different places, Rosie. You got to go somewhere. Where are you going? So I would pick one, and this is true. I would literally go out into the station truck and do my remote, it was called, from the truck.
You wouldn't get out?
then I'd go back into the wherever I was,
Oh,
Best Buy, Future Shop.
Yeah.
I'd go back and hang out there, and then at the end of the show, they'd be like, "I never saw you talk once." Oh, no, I did. I talked a bunch of times. Really, because nobody came in here. Oh, so I don't know, whatever. I gotta go. See ya. So yeah, it got bad. Like if I was doing an on location and I had to stay in the store, there would be times when people would just come up and stare at you while you're doing it, and I would just be awful.
That would be annoying.
Yeah, it was annoying.
Yeah.
For sure. But yeah, just being in a play like you guys do, it boggles my mind. I could never do it.
It helps you can't see anybody, right? Because you're up there and there's so many lights on you.
Yeah.
You can't see past the front of the stage. So really, you're just yelling to a black void.
Yeah. But so many times I would be the guy that would be like, line.
So you'd be like Dayton.
That was Dayton.
Was
Yeah.
it Dayton?
That was Dayton, yeah. What? So, like, you had to get up 4:30. We said, or be ready for 4:30. How do you keep your energy level up for the task?
Good question. I do not drink coffee, and I don't drink any. Don't you? And I don't drink any sort of caffeine, or I do cocaine. But that was I'm just kidding.
Obviously.
I'm just kidding. No, I didn't do any of that. You just loved your job, right? You can't be grumpy. You can't be, you can't be any of that sort of stuff. I went through a divorce and I never missed a day of work. Like I went in and, you'd cry in between. You'd cry when Comfortably Numb comes on or No Rain by Blind Melon for different reasons. And then you just have to somewhat be a professional.
Did you ever just go just for fun? Did you ever go, and that was Comfortably Numb, everybody?
Yeah,
you're welcome.
I think I did do that the odd time. I think I did do. That was Nickelback again, something along that lines. We always got a lot of that around here, especially in Canada. You guys play Nickelback so much.
I know. What do you think makes a great radio host? Then
I think just being someone that people can relate to. Right? Like, it's hard for us to listen to a Howard Stern and relate to a lot of the stuff he talks about, because he just talks about stuff nobody would do in their life. But if you have somebody local and, you talk about playing slow pitch down at, whatever, the Diamonds, and this happened to me, I got a ball in the face or something like that. Just be relatable to other people. And that's what my bosses always kept pushing back on us. Do things that, people want you to do, that they can relate to. And I enjoy that when I listen to guys as well, guys and girls.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
What would have been your, and this might be broad, but what would have been your favorite on-air moment in your career? We
went to Toronto one time, and we had like a company-wide big show where we had to take a little bit. Every morning show had to take something from their show and present it to all these other morning DJs, and it was hard to do because there's people from Toronto, people from Vancouver, and they're going to judge you. So we always had this thing called. Do you remember we had a bar in town called the Shark Club?
Yep. Love that place.
Yeah. Well, we went in there one time, and there was a girl that was quite attractive and quite personable.
I bet you I know her name. What's her name? I bet you I know who she is.
I'm not saying who
you
her
have
name
really,
is.
I'm not really fired up my coworker.
I'll tell you why, because her name was like two names combined. It was like Clemantha or something like that. So we never called her
two names.
Yeah, Clemantha. So we always just called her Shark Club Girl. But she wanted to come on the show, and she would come on the show, and she would be lights out. She would be so good, because a lot of times you get people in and they're just blah, right? Probably like I am right now. And she came in and she was just great. And we did things, and she knew nothing about sports, kind of like Tanner.
Hi.
And it was so funny. We talked about the San Francisco 49ers, and we'd just say, oh yeah, their greatest quarterback of all time, Joe. And then we'd go, Shark Club Girl, what's his last name?
Preppel.
She's like, how would I know? It's named after a famous state. Rhode Island? Yeah, the famous 49ers quarterback's name is Joe Rhode Island. So she just rattled off like 43 states before she got to Montana. And it was just great. So we did this little bit of all these little things we did with Shark Club Girl, and they were all hilarious. And, you know, we had executives from Toronto coming up to us after and saying, that was the best thing we heard. Like, we had morning shows from all over Canada, like big time, big paying morning shows. And you guys had the best one. So that was always a fun bit whenever we had her.
That's awesome.
But yeah, I don't think you'd know her name because
Off air. We're going off there.
Okay, because she was really good and really, yeah, it was funny.
I spent a lot of time there. So
Did you?
I did. I had my own booth.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, like they saved it for
Corbyn's
me.
over there.
Corbyn, it's free in the corner. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, the dark corner.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you guys have a word that you have trouble saying when you get on stage? Because I can tell you mine, and I wonder if there's a word that every single time. Oh, you got one? Or
I know
you're pointing-
Corbyn's.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What's mine?
Kitchen door kick.
Kitchen door kick. That's right. It is kitchen door kick.
Yeah.
Because I ended up saying kitchen dick a lot.
Without intentionally, he would just yell,
that's funny.
kitchen dick.
See, that's funny.
It's funny. What was yours?
I have trouble with my R's. So and I've said it a few times, rural. I hate the word rural.
Rural.
So if there was ever a rural brewery, I was in a lot of trouble.
How about horror?
Horror's not bad.
Horror.
Because if you get it wrong, it goes bad.
That's true. That's true. But
Where does it go? Fantastic.
It goes fantastic.
But I always hated the word rural.
Rural.
Still don't like it. Rural brewery.
Rural.
Rural.
See, I thought there would be something that you really had when on stage, but you're such a good talker.
Yeah, the problem
I
is
guess.
I'm just so good
at a lot of
Rosie.
things.
I mean,
some things.
aside from knowing where the vagina is, what?
Speaking of,
what makes a? You asked that question. You jumped ahead, didn't you?
Which one?
Or me breaking the rules again.
I jumped ahead to,
what makes the great news?
You on this one? You're.
Is there?
wait, you guys have a list?
We have a list.
Oh, we're professional.
Could I not have seen these beforehand?
No, it's better. We don't let the other person.
right, okay.
Actually, what we do is
Spoilers.
one of us will come up with a list.
Yeah.
And the other one doesn't know what's on there.
Right.
And then they get to ask the questions too. And so
Yeah.
we have fun with it.
All right.
Yeah. By the way, Corbyn's next questions get super racist. Is there a secret behind radio that the general public doesn't know? Like, is there a secret menu to how radio operates that people don't know?
Everything now, especially now, is on computers. Like even like 20 years ago, everything was just on computers. People always thought, WKRP in Cincinnati, we put the record on, we got to put the needle down right on it and then flip it off after. No, you literally can put on a song, go take a poop, come back, and you're good to go.
It was all MP3s back then.
Pretty much. Yeah. Everything was pretty simple.
And that you're accessing the list that's owned by parent corporations. So like you're not like buying local and throwing their tunes on. Is that?
See, when my DJ was away and I was just DJing by myself, I would play a lot of Mr. Brightside by the Killers. I would play a lot of that, and No Rush. I can tell you that.
Oh, sorry, Corbyn.
But no, you can kind of do that, and I would make no bones about it. Hey, so and so isn't here today. I'll play whatever you want. Phone me up, and it's just a good way to get people talking because that's what program directors want. They want the general public, no matter how dumb they might sound, they still want the sound of somebody else on your radio station. Mm-hmm. Callers calling in because then it makes you sound more relatable and people want to phone you.
How does that work?
You pick up the phone and then you push the numbers.
Oh, okay. What pushing?
And you go, hello?
Yeah, pushing.
Hello?
If run this through for me. I'm a very visual person.
Okay.
As I'm sure everyone who listens here is a visual person. Corbyn.
Tanner?
I need you to play an 82-year-old retired woman, and she really, really wants to listen to Rush. Okay? She's going to call her local radio DJ, Rosie.
Yep.
And you're going to ask for Rush.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
Whenever you're ready.
Well, I got to be asked. He has to pick up the phone.
Okay, hold on. That's a bad.
That was your phone?
That's the phone ring.
Wait, first off, we got caller ID. I see it's you.
Ring.
What? I mean, your local radio station. How can I help you?
Hi, it's Nettie calling. I want because they're always named Nettie,
Yeah.
and they're like 85 years old,
82.
82 years old. I want to listen to "Spirit of the Radio" by Rush.
Ooh, excellent choice there, Nettie. You keep listening, and I'll try and get that on for you as soon as I can.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. And then we'd never play it. We just ran out of time. Sorry, Nettie.
Yeah,
we tried to get that on for you. Sorry, Blanche. We just couldn't fit it in there.
Esther.
So if you were going to play a song,
Yeah.
what happens next?
Well, we always taped our calls, so then you could tape that call
Okay.
and then play it right before. So then Nettie would, get her Spirit of Radio song by Rush, and then you'd play it right away, and they're like, "Oh wow, this is great. This is a wonderful thing." Where really she probably called an hour and a half ago, and Nettie's probably into her second bowl of porridge,
Yeah.
or probably died by that time.
Yeah. She sounded weak.
She
on the
didn't
phone
sound
there.
well.
She sounded bad.
She's not having a good
sound
day.
good.
No.
She needed "Spirit of the
She
Radio."
needed. If I don't get my Rush, this is it. This is the day.
I don't know if I'm going to make it.
We did a bit one time where we used in our local paper here, we had the roast and toasts,
Yeah.
which were always written, I'm assuming, by someone like Nettie,
Yes.
a 97-year-old woman, and the DJ that I had would always read the funny ones, and read them in that voice, and she called herself Gladys, and it was funny, really funny. So that was one of our better bits too. That was really good.
So throughout your career, and you don't have to answer this with specific names or anything,
But you can.
you can if you like. Who was your worst interview?
Oh,
And you can't say this
worst
one.
interviews. Well, a lot of the times, I won't give you any names because I can't think of anybody off the top of your head. But a lot of the times, you'd get new sponsors, right?
okay.
Like, hey, Future Shop just bought advertising, and they want to bring somebody in to talk about the latest TV that they got in. And
Okay.
you're like, oh, okay. And then they'd come in and just be absolutely garbage.
Yeah.
Like they were never good. But being here in Canada, we had a lot of, hockey players that would come on, and they would be good, because especially the stories, because they know how to talk on, be interviewed and stuff. So
Yeah.
they would tell you things, and then as soon as the mic was off, it'd be like, okay, this is how that really went. So that was always really good. But no, it's usually the clients that were usually pretty bad, and you get it, you understand, but they're always like, I want to go on. Like, I want to be on. Like, whenever we'd go on remote, we'd go to a car dealership in town, and I can tell you off air who it was later, but he'd always be like, I want to go on. I want to do every single bit. Like, I want to come on every single time you're on, and I want to talk about our cars. And you're like, really? Like, you suck. Like, you're awful. And I do them in my truck. So you're going to have to come hang out in my truck for a while. But
Do they pay more for that?
they do not. No.
They don't. So they can go on every time without paying more.
No, yeah, if they're the owner and they've already paid their money, they want to come on and talk about
How much I want
money do I make?
If I own a local delicatessen,
Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
and I need to push my pastrami,
Yep.
because it's not going.
Right.
So I need a month of radio time
Yep.
with Rosie to sell my pastrami.
Okay.
How much does that cost me?
I have no idea.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. How would I know that? That's why we have salespeople.
You
Salespeople
could have just
come
made
in.
up a number and I would have believed you.
So let me ask you this.
Next week, your guest will be a local radio salesperson. I'll have lots of good stories.
So let me ask you this. So did you feel like you were in tune with not so much the local but the national scene for music then? Did you feel like you were in tune with it? Did you keep step with it?
I think so. I kind of believe I was. Why? What are you getting at?
I just wanna
Did you
know-
hear I wasn't?
No, I just wanted I
Somebody
just,
tell you something?
no, I just feel like if you're passionate about your job, you'd have to be passionate about music a little bit.
Yeah, and you kind of were, because you had to do some sort of research probably on almost everybody you played. Like we
Yeah.
were kind of more of a classic rock station, so a lot of the artists like Rush weren't touring a whole lot or anything, so you didn't need to know a whole lot
Right.
about that, I guess. So, but yeah, I think for the most part you try and stay up to date.
Do you like concerts?
Not really. I'm not a big. You don't either.
I hate concerts.
Yeah, I'm not a big concert guy.
God, you guys are made for each other.
Listen,
Yeah, I
here's
know.
the thing.
You just,
Why
you
we're
just-
best
you
friends.
can just not go to concerts and watch sports all day.
Larry,
What a bunch of losers.
this is my impression of every concert ever.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay?
Yeah.
They get on stage. Let's say, give me a city. What city they're in?
And welcome to...
No, just tell me a city. I don't know.
Oh.
Madison, Wisconsin.
stand down. Just
That's,
give me a city.
that's fine. You don't have to stifle my creativity as we go on. Well, we'll say Detroit.
I just said Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison! You don't even say anything. He
Is this
just
Taylor Swift?
and then they go, yeah! And then he walks back and forth on the stage
Yep.
for 2.5 hours.
Right.
And then when he ever wants someone to say things, Madison! And then it's the worst performance. Never sounds like him.
The best is Kiss.
Yeah.
Like Kiss is the epitome of that. Is that Paul Stanley would come on and he'd do it in that voice, a little high voice. Hey everyone, we were in Detroit last night, and they said they are the best fans ever. But Madison, Wisconsin, I think you are the best fans ever. Are you the best fans ever? And then everybody goes crazy. And then the next night, he does the exact same thing in Green Bay. Hey, we were in Madison, Wisconsin last night. It's just, you're right. It's awful.
Yeah.
It gets to a point where I like concerts in certain aspects.
Yeah.
And it depends who they are. But I mean, for the most part, again, I'm in bed by 9 o'clock, and most concerts are still going at 9 o'clock.
Best concert you went to?
Best concert I went to would probably be, it's funny I say this, Kiss. I always wanted to see Kiss. I always wanted to see Kiss. It was on my bucket list.
You know who fucking sucks like that? Kiss.
No, I never
Garbage.
said they suck. I
Best
said,
one
you know
ever?
who does that? And that's what Paul Stanley does. But I had to see them, and I saw them, and it was great. So that was probably, I like that one.
Best concert you ever saw, Tanner?
Garth Brooks.
Yeah,
Okay.
Garth Brooks was good.
Even
He
the-
was really good.
Even the country music
yeah,
hating guy. will give
Super
you that.
entertaining.
Yeah. You, Corbin?
Prince.
Oh, that'd be good too.
In Minnesota?
No, I saw him in Calgary twice.
Really?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
90.
No, one would have been 2008, 2009, 2010
Yeah.
in Calgary, and then probably 2004, 2003 in Calgary.
And what made him so good?
Well, first off, I love Prince.
Do ya?
I
Okay.
do. And so the first time I saw him wasn't as good because he was doing small, more intimate venues.
Yeah.
And he was doing only songs from his latest album.
Right.
And so I had to go buy, Children. I forget what the name of the album was. But so all I heard was that stuff. And then I'm like, okay, it's still Prince, so I'm pretty happy.
Yeah.
And then he did the dome tour, the stadium tour.
Yeah.
And he did everything.
Yeah.
And he did everything. He did everything.
Yeah.
And he crushed it. It was one of my favorite things I ever saw.
See, and that's the thing with concerts is that it's something different for everybody. Like a lot of people will be like, oh, I loved Prince. He played all his new stuff. Whereas other people go, I hated that Prince concert. All he did was play new stuff. And that was the good thing about Kiss is that they know who they are.
Yeah.
They're not coming out here and going, who wants to hear some new stuff? Nobody. Nobody's here to hear anything. Play Detroit Rock City. Shut up. Light yourself on fire. And it's a great show.
My second best concert, though, is a little out of left field. I think it is. It was Rob Zombie.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I went to, so he was playing at a smaller hall, if
Yeah.
you will. And okay, this is awesome. So there was a stage.
Just ask him.
Spoilers.
Okay. There was a stage in the middle was a giant skull. And I mean like the height of 2.5 people,
Yeah.
giant skull. Okay. Then there was 2 platforms coming off the side of the skull that were higher up. Okay. And then above those platforms, there was 2 screens. And then below the stage, there was 2 more screens. And so he came out dressed in this skeleton suit with a cowboy hat, and they lit it up with black lights, and he was playing Living Dead Girl,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
Great
and then,
song.
And then he had 2 girls on those platforms dressed as zombies, and they were like pretending to dance like zombies
Yeah.
would,
Yeah.
and they would like stop and pop. It was like a pop and lock almost. Pop and lock stop, but like zombies.
If you could show us how to pop and lock
If you could do that for the rest of
the
the episode, I'd be really happy.
And then his guitarist came out dressed as zombies.
Yeah.
Well, like zombie makeup, I should say.
Yeah.
But they were dressed in like SS uniforms,
Oh, okay.
and they're all playing Living Dead Girl. And I looked at my friend. I said, "This is the greatest fucking concert I think I may have ever seen at that point.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
I will go see Rob Zombie 1,000 times
I
over.
like Zombie.
Yeah.
Dragula is one of my favorite songs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, he killed them all. It was great.
I lost a lot of money because it was Dracula, not Dragula.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I went into that bet. With
Was this in Vegas? How did you make this bet?
no, just with people
okay.
people who like to bet money, and I went into it with the confidence of someone who has a good relationship with their father.
Yeah.
Like just really strong and knowing, and I lost a lot of money. So he's okay. He's all right. What advice, Rosie? Rosie, what advice would you give this wanting to get into this industry?
Oh,
If you realistic advice with your experience, what would you tell them?
And then I have a follow-up question.
okay. I would just tell them to have fun and to pay your dues. I mean, it's a job where you got to pay your dues. You got to go work rural. You got to go work in a rural brewery somewhere. No, you got to work in a small town, and you got to move your way up if you want to do it. Because a lot of the times that people go to these small towns and they're like, screw it, I'm going back home. I'm going to go work on the oil rigs. I'm going to go work on a poultry farm, whatever, because you're making more money than you were in this small, radio station. You have to love it and do everything. Like that's the other thing. You can do everything at a small station. You can be the sales guy. You can be the program director. You can be the morning show. You can do whatever you want. And if you want to do it, you don't see a lot of people now who want to be in radio because they know that it's, I don't want to say a dying industry. It's hard to get into. It's hard. If you're good at it, like Howard Stern, you make a lot of money, but there's not a lot of Howard Sterns out there that make that money.
2 questions.
Okay.
One, do you listen to the radio?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Local radio or?
I listen to talk radio.
Okay.
Trying to be smarter. But it's sports, so I guess
Yeah,
Okay,
sports.
well,
Yeah, I'm with you on
failing.
sports radio.
Yeah.
What's your
Failing
favorite
completely.
sports talk show?
Well, can we say this?
Of course you can.
Probably the one up in Calgary.
The
morning show
Sure.
up there.
Okay.
I didn't really like them when they started, but I kind of really like them now. I don't listen to a whole lot. I don't stream anything else.
Okay.
The only time I listen to the radio is in my car.
Okay.
That's it. I don't come home and listen to another radio station. I guess I could, but I just don't.
All right.
So, yeah, I like them. I just like when guys are funny. When
Yeah.
people are funny. I enjoy that.
And I guess finally in this thing, it kind of piggybacks off something you just previously said.
Yep.
What do you think the shelf life is for the radio industry right now? Like just now that you're out of it, you can take a
Yeah.
look at it. You can say,
I think there's always going to be a place for it because you're still going to need local radio, no matter how small or how big you are. I think it's always going to happen. It's always going to be there. But I just think, the talent, they can find talent elsewhere. They can find somebody in Los Angeles who can tape a show up here in Canada for, a quarter of what they would pay somebody to do it in Canada, if that makes sense, right? So why not just do it down there? So I think a lot of the anchors, the DJs, are dying a little bit, but you're always going to find jobs in radio, I think, just not as many.
yeah.
Interesting. You always need to sell something.
You what?
You always need to sell stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like the radio has to exist in some form.
I mean, people have always said that about newspapers too. There's always going to be
Yeah, it's not gonna
newspapers.
go anywhere, yeah.
It just might be online or somewhere else. It's always going to be there. It's just different now.
Yeah. People say that about Corbyn.
Do they?
Yeah. He's always going to be there. It's just, he's just different.
Well, thank you, Tanner.
Hey, you're
that a
welcome.
compliment?
You're welcome, DJ. You're welcome.
So a big part of our podcast is we like to talk about mental health journeys and
Right.
stuff like that. You spoke about, and you don't have to get into details about this stuff, but I'm just mentioning it because you brought it up originally.
Yep.
You went through divorce.
Yep.
You were laid off. Tell me about your journey in mental health, how that affected you. How did you cope?
Yeah, well, I'll start with the divorce part. The divorce part was hard because I didn't really see it coming. And my wife at the time, we had a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, so it was not a good time for it. Were we getting along? No. Were we the worst relationship on the block? No. It was just something that she wanted she wanted a different life than someone who went to bed every night at 8:30.
That's
and
fair.
Yeah, she wanted to do other things. There was more to life, and I mean, retrospect, yes, and I get along good with her now. She's a wonderful person, but it wasn't right at the time, and I was not well for a long time. Like, it was not a good time. You have a 5 and a 3-year-old, and you're phoning up your buddies and saying, "Can I sleep in your basement tonight?" And that's hard. And I had to do that, for 3 months, living somewhere else. So that wasn't easy, but I coped with it by going to work every day and just shutting it off as hard as it was for 3.5 hours, 4 hours doing your show. And it was hard. And I mean, I know you guys have talked about crying. I cried a lot, and I cried a lot then. I cried when I got laid off. That was hard too. And for that, I think I coped well just with family. I'm a big family guy. I got 2 kids. I got 2 wonderful kids, and then I married a girl who's got 4 kids. So I got 6 kids.
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I'm fired up.
There's a lot of people that are like, "Rosie, what are you doing? Like, you had 2, you were close to retiring, you could get out of this, you could get out of this, and then you marry." So now
Were the kids younger or older than your kids?
All younger.
All younger.
Yeah.
So that's
I married a girl 16 years younger than me.
wow. So
Double
that's like
down.
a full
So
restart.
Doing it again.
Yeah. Doing it again.
Double down.
Yeah. So there was a guy I was walking with, my 6-year-old, 7-year-old stepdaughter a little while ago in the summer, and I had her on the back of my bike, and he came up and he's like, "Rosie, I don't even know you anymore." And he just kept on driving. Didn't even say anything else. She looks at me, "What does that mean?" And I'm like, "Nothing. Don't worry about it." As the tears rolling down your face.
Don't Google radio shows.
Don't do that. I rely a lot on my family. I love my family. I love my stepkids. I think especially the young one. She's wonderful. She makes me laugh every day. I love laughing. I love just being around people who are funny. And my wife, it's her goal every day, she says, to try and make me laugh, and she does.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's
a really good thing.
Yeah, to have a good partner, I think really helps.
Looking back on that, when you were going through that breakup
Yeah.
and then into work,
Yeah.
and I agree with you, because I've done that a lot too. Where, I mean, work is just easy to get into and kind of leave that hole
Yep.
away. Looking back on it now, how do you feel that laid out for you? Did it, in the grand scheme of things, did it make a difference? Did it make getting better longer? Did it make it getting shorter? Like, did it really work for you? Like, looking back on how that happened.
Yeah, I think it totally worked for me, because
Yeah.
I think if this all would have happened at the same time, if I would have got laid off and got divorced at the same time, it would have been really hard.
You would have listened to Rush.
Yeah, I would have been listening to Rush and crying myself to sleep every single night. But that was the good thing about radio, is that, again, you always had to be upbeat. People don't want to hear that sort of stuff. And eventually my program director said, "Talk about it. We want you to talk about it." Like, that's a good thing if people know that, you're getting divorced, because everybody gets divorced. 49% of the world gets divorced. So it's going to happen. So it's a good thing. So yeah, I think going in every day, because I could have, my boss is like, "You need time off." I don't want time off. I don't. I don't do that in my current job, and I didn't do that then. I don't like leaving other guys shorthanded.
Yep.
I don't like doing that. I don't like disappointing people. So I always just went in.
So I get that when your boss kind of says, "Hey, why don't you bring up the divorce thing?"
Yeah.
And like you said, you're not a big fan of speaking in public. How did that feel?
It was hard. It was hard. And that's why you have somebody there with you. Like, if it would have just been me by myself talking about my divorce, I never would have done it. But you have somebody there, and he realizes when you're close to crying or being emotional that he can kind of, help you out, and he's always got your back.
Yeah.
Or she, in any case. Like, it was always good to have somebody to lean on in that aspect. Like, I wouldn't say any of the co-hosts that I had were my best friends, but we always had each other's back, I think, on air. So that was always a good thing, especially in that case.
Yeah. They, what would you say was the most heartfelt thing that you've given up on air, Corbyn?
The most heartfelt thing I've given up on air with
Yeah.
you? With
So-
you?
Sure. I don't think you've done a podcast for me.
I don't know. What have I said? I don't think I've said anything.
Yeah, I think the fact that you
just pull back my face, it's just circuitry and wires.
We talked about that. That's why I had to explain what crying was, because he doesn't have tear ducts.
See, I find that hard to believe. You cry. I think he's a crier.
Oh, you guys are funny.
That's interesting. I'm glad you said that, because I'm the same way, where I roll into work mode, compartmentalize, however you want to say it. I find that comes easier to me to deal with things. And so, not a lot of people, but people who would be involved, or if they knew I was having a hard time, for whatever, they would say, oh, well, why are you going to work? You're just hiding from it.
Yeah.
But I never felt that.
Yeah.
I never felt that way. And a lot of people seem to focus on that and say, oh, you're just hiding.
Right.
Or you're not dealing with it.
Right.
But I don't know. It worked for me.
Yeah. And there's people that we know that do this and take 6 months off, take a year off. Like it happens, and to each their own. That's just wasn't the way I was going to deal with it. And, you deal with it however you want to deal with it. But that was just what really helped me out.
Yeah, everyone's got their own process. And that's kind of part of what we're doing here is we're trying to introduce everyone's different process that they have. And if any, like I said to Tanner yesterday, if any one listener gets anything out of this, then I think we're doing something good.
Yeah. Something to try, right? Something new. If, things might work, take it. If you don't like it, leave it.
My parents will listen to this, so you guys will have at least 2 listeners.
Yes.
Yes!
It should double your listenership. So
Are either of their names Nettie?
No.
Oh, good. Esther.
It's Mr. and Mrs. Rosie to you.
We should have in the year follow-up, we should have a checking in with Mr. and Mrs. Rosie and have them on.
I was going to say, you don't want my dad on. My dad's 83, almost 84 years old, so he's pretty set in his ways. So you'd definitely have to edit that
Hit
interview.
the button as we go, eh? Okay. Just going to hold the button down, and
That's
we're back.
right. I was going to tell you guys that. I was going to say, my parents are listening, so no F-bombs in this. But
Oh, no.
Mom and Dad watch Yellowstone. So
Oh, okay.
they should be fine. But if there's any masturbation song or talk, I'm taking my per
that's it.
diem, and I'm getting out of here.
The per diem is a keychain that says Rosie.
Oh,
That's as good as we get now.
Can I take some Lego?
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, go.
Sweet.
Take all the Lego.
I thank you for letting us poke at you a little bit with questions, Rosie.
Yeah,
some people get pretty standoffish. We've gotten some pretty dark times in this table over the years. We've been doing this
No, it's a good thing
so
you guys
long.
are doing.
so many years.
All 4.5 episodes.
I appreciate the fact that you did your homework.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
That helps. Out of all the podcasts you've done,
Yeah.
I don't even have to ask. I know this is your best one.
No,
So,
this
no.
is the best one I've done. I haven't done any, but still, this is not the best one I've done. I thought you were going to ask which one of your guys' podcasts if this was a favorite. I'm like, no, this is maybe top 5.
This isn't even the best one I've done with Corbyn.
Maybe top 5.
All right, well, never mind. It was fine having you, I guess.
Okay. I want to hear the homework because I want to
we got homework.
I can do this.
We're gonna jump into homework here now.
Okay.
I just like to let you know that you're appreciated.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
that was
you. I
awesome.
appreciate you guys, and I appreciate what you're doing. It's wonderful, and it's very enjoyable.
You're the only one I've been nervous for.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
We knew you were going to sound buttery.
because you're an
smooth
expert.
today.
I wasn't ready for it. I put the headset on, and he started. I was like, oh my,
He sounds so good.
Jesus.
And then I hugged you, and it was it relaxed you a little bit, didn't it?
Yeah, like a warm bare arms. Yeah. Anyway, homework.
Homework. Let's do it. This is going to be interesting. I got a feeling
Yeah.
it's going to be interesting. First off, before we go homework, I want you to go. Can you try the McNuggets? The sauces by
Do it
themselves?
right this time.
No, I'm afraid
You
if
do
I
it
go
right.
back, they're going to call someone on me because the way everyone was staring at me, dipping, not holding chicken right, and dipping it in random sauces. I think they're going to call somebody if I go back there.
This is top. By the way, that was top 5 homework of all time.
The one you just came up with.
That's that last one, week 1. It was awesome.
It was probably top 5. Can I ask you guys one question here
Yeah,
before you get
please.
into the
Whatever you want.
Before you get into the ending,
We're open book.
do you guys really play video games?
Yeah.
And you're both grown men, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
So
yeah.
here's my question with that: you're both married.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they fine with that? Because I'm pretty sure if I told my wife I'm going downstairs to play Call of Duty for 3 hours, she'd be like, okay, I'm going to have an affair.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Like I know, and I know that's what she would say.
That is a line. Because that is a hard line in your home.
Because the people that it is, because the guys that I know that play video games, their wives don't like it, and they are in not happy relationships.
Do you know what I call that?
What?
Bad wives.
Well, you know what? Tanner can answer this question first.
Okay, because I think he plays with his wife.
He plays with his wife.
You're right.
And you know what? It is what it is. Let's take the moniker of video games out of this conversation for a second and insert whatever thing you like to do in there.
Yes.
Whether it's hunting or side-by-side or
Golfing.
sports or golf, whatever it is, put in whatever you want. If your partner can't support a hobby that you enjoy, they're a shitty partner.
Okay, that's fair.
That's how. And
that's fair.
I'm not saying they have to like it. I'm not saying they got to, or be involved either. But they need to. I think it's fair to say a partner should appreciate that someone is allowed to have a hobby and an interest of their own, and to abridge that time.
I just think video games are different, though. Different.
It has a stigma. I don't disagree there.
Yeah,
but.
I mean, good for your wife and good for you. I mean, obviously, you guys have a good relationship.
Yeah, it's where we both grew up with it.
Yeah, because I remember saying that to my wife. I'm like, "What do you think about getting a PlayStation 5?" She's like, "Really? Like, so you can play it all day?" No, I guess not.
You just need to find the game for her. And I stand by this. Everyone can say to the end of the day that they hate video games, period. But if you find the right one that pulls them in, they're a gamer. Okay. It changes. They will immediately go for life ever change.
That's fair.
You just got to find the right game.
My wife is a teacher.
Okay.
And so the ugly truth about teachers is that
they don't work ever?
No. That's
I got to put the DVD in again.
It's the exact opposite. Every teacher I know, and my wife included, they come home and they put in 2 to 3 hours of work every night. And so they're working all the time. And so I've got a lot of free time to do this stuff because she's working on, like, once the kids go to bed and she's doing homework, I got time to watch sports or I got time to play a video game.
Don't stereotype. Don't get us into teachers. Don't stereotype all teachers. Good for your wife for doing that. But my brother is a teacher.
And he doesn't do that.
And he wears beer shirts and shorts every single day.
Is he a gym teacher?
He's a gym teacher, you bet. So,
does he also teach sex ed? Because I could use
He does not.
I could use some
Fun fact, I was actually going to have a gym teacher come on the show later on.
Yeah.
So that was going to be one of my fun things.
Okay, all right.
Wow. Because I'm pretty sure he doesn't. I'm pretty sure he just plays video games all night too.
Yes, and those are the different teachers you get. You get the teachers that go, "Oh my goodness, we get half the year off and we make a great amount of money, and I don't have to do anything." But the others are wonderful. Well, they're all probably wonderful teachers. Not your sex ed teacher.
You've had some not wonderful ones.
Maybe not him. But yeah, it's a rare breed sometimes.
I remember one teacher I had in high school got in trouble from the police for stalking and harassing Kaylin Porter.
Oh,
remember Kaylin Porter?
I don't. Canadian Idol,
first Canadian Idol.
Yeah.
Kaylin Porter,
yeah, first Canadian Idol winner.
You know what? I purposely didn't watch that show.
Oh, you missed out.
I did. Did I?
No,
I missed.
No, you didn't. But yeah.
Teacher stalked
teachers
Kaylin
are great.
Porter.
Oh yeah, for
Teachers
sure.
are great. We love teachers.
Teachers, why don't you support this channel?
Sponsor our channel.
There's associations, right? That's the thing.
Brought to you by the Teachers Association of Ontario. Your local PTA.
If we can lock down a PTA to come to that, I'd sign up. Yeah.
You know what? That'd be the worst because then we wouldn't be able to say anything
We
fun
wouldn't be able
anymore.
to say anything fun anymore.
Where does your wife work at? High school or
What level?
It's
middle school?
1 to 12.
1 to 12.
So
okay.
she's a grade 4 teacher, does most subjects, and then does art for the entire school.
And do the older kids call her by her first name?
No, they don't.
See, because my kids went to a local school here in town, and they were told that they had to call their teachers by their first name.
No.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
And I remember in middle school when I called Mr. Rainsforth Kelly one time. Well, he almost beat the snot out of me. But nowadays, it's fine. You're allowed to just go ahead and do that, and it drives me crazy.
That's an interesting thing that would happen.
Yeah, it's so that you can be relatable. That's what they say.
I I don't want to be really. That's the problem. We're trying to be the kids' friends now instead of being someone who's guiding them. And I need someone to teach my kids social skills, like not social study skills, social skills, and yes sir, no sir. Like, have you seen a dip in customer service in the last 10 years at places? It's because nobody knows how to talk to anybody anymore.
Customer service?
Customer service.
They're now charging you 30 cents for a sweet and sour sauce at McDonald's.
Yeah.
That type of stuff.
I always pay extra. I always do. I'm
ya?
like, give me hot mustard, give me barbecue, let's load it up, and some honey.
Yeah, honey. Good God.
Honey, I'm telling you, if you just put the honey on the chicken McNugget, you'd be like, salty sweet, this is amazing.
Anyway, homework for next week.
Wow.
Can I do the homework even though I'm not going to be here next week? I still want to do.
You know what?
I still want to feel like I'm part of the show.
You can say whatever you want.
Okay.
You know, if I'll highlight this for you.
Okay.
And you tell them that's the homework. Reading.
Okay. Well, I have old eyes. Okay, your homework.
Okay.
Corbyn.
Yeah.
With a Y.
That's right.
Weird. I want you to teach me a new tabletop game next time. What does that mean? Like, What are you getting at?
You want me to teach you a whole game?
Like a game like Risk? Like, is that what you're talking about?
I don't care. Any tabletop.
Do you not play games? Are you guys?
I do, but he plays a lot that I don't.
Okay.
Wow.
So I want to learn.
Are you and your wife gamers?
Not my wife, no. But
No.
if you look around this room, there's a lot of stuff here that...
She's got teacher work.
Yeah.
She's playing his tabletop
This
game
room
by
is all
himself.
me right here.
Okay.
So I've got a lot of stuff here that would fall into that category of tabletop gaming.
Yeah.
You know how hard and how long it would take me to teach you?
Well, so here's...
I want you
but
guys to play Risk.
This is the challenge of homework.
Okay.
Is that, I mean, we don't have an hour. We don't really have 10 minutes, but you need to run me through. Cole's notes a tabletop.
All right, I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, I can do that.
That's the homework.
Remember when I said I wanted to be a part of it? I don't want to be a part of it anymore.
No. You don't come to next episode.
You ever played Connect 4? That's my tabletop game.
Yeah, this is the... It'll be a long... I apologize for next week, guys. It'll be really bad compared to this one. And it was great because Rosie was here.
That was awesome.
God, it was
I
so
really
good,
appreciate
Rosie.
it coming.
Thank you,
That's
guys.
awesome stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like we're closer.
Oh, we're closer.
Yeah.
Wow. Sports.
We have so much in common, and you don't, Tanner.
Yeah, because it's sad when I'm the cool one at the table.
I was going to say, don't say you're cool.
Like, that's sad, guys. When Tanner's like, okay.
Didn't you play Dungeons and Dragons this morning?
I did.
Yeah.
Well,
It was a rough one. They were not ready for an abyssal monster, I'll tell you that much.
One of the guys that I used to do a show with would be a Dungeons and Dragons guy, and he's like, have you ever played? And my response was always, no, I played sports and had friends. That was usually my radio go-to. So I'll go with that right now, because my favorite Dungeons and Dragons character is probably Rusty. Is there a Rusty? I'm assuming there is.
Hey, if
you're Rusty and everything.
If you want there to be Rusty, there's a Rusty.
Oh, can you make up names?
yes.
Yeah, that's the whole
But
thing.
they always want you to make up weird ass names.
Oh, yeah.
You make up whatever you want.
If I did, I wanted to be Bob the Builder or whatever.
You can be Bob. No one says you can't be Bob the Builder. I once made a character based off of shish kebab.
Shoot.
A good old fashioned Canadian show off on the coast. And the old 80s, they ran a boat on the coastline. He wore a toque.
Beachcombers?
Yeah,
Beachcombers. Thank you. What was the toque guy?
Beachcombers.
Jim
What was his
Beachcomber.
name? Yeah, I made a character off the Beachcombers characters. So you can do that. It can be fun and silly.
Wow.
It can be whatever you want it to be. It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be scary fantasy. It can be. It can be. One time they had to carry a sheep up a tree.
You're
the sheep keep trying to bite them.
Who do you play this with?
Yeah.
Oh,
Other grown-ups?
yeah, almost always.
Wow.
Actually, I just play with two teachers.
Two teachers?
Yeah, they weren't very good.
Oh, you can be good? Oh, wow.
I'm kidding.
I love this guy. You got to come on more. This is awesome.
Yeah, Rose, that was. Thank you very much. It was nice to have someone who knows how
Shit all over
sentences work. This is great. Thanks, Rosie.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Where can people go to find Rosie?
Yeah.
At Burger King. I
Okay,
already told
perfect.
you.
Well,
yeah.
hey,
I don't.
Poultry shop.
Yeah, I'm not on social media, so I don't do that.
no.
So you can't find me anywhere.
Okay.
Which is where I want to be.
How's it
I want to
feel
be at
not-
home
how's that
at
feel?
8:30.
yeah, how does that feel?
Not to be found. How does that feel?
It feels
Off-grid.
good.
Do you still go to bed at 8:30?
No, 9. Up a little later.
Party, Rosie.
And so let me just ask your grand plan here.
Yeah.
You've got the PS5. when were you planning on playing it?
Yeah. I don't even know if I wanted it. I was just kind of throwing it out there just
Testing
to
the
see if it
waters.
stuck or not.
Testing the
to see if she was be like, yeah, let's play. I don't even know what game I'd played. You know, when you guys did your top 5 games,
Yep.
I haven't even heard of any of them.
Oh,
I never heard of any of them. Yeah, you talked about Super Mario. I've heard of that one, but I don't even know which one it was.
3.
You know what? If you're going to do a game system
Yeah.
with having kids,
Wii Resort, because that's the one I got.
I would say that the Switch is the way to go.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's all those
Yeah.
family-related games, and they're all awesome.
Okay.
Super Mario Brothers,
yeah.
the new one is
Get
amazing.
the Nintendo, and you're good to go. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You're welcome. Yeah. With that, what do we do? Where can people find us then, Corbyn?
Oh yeah, so you can find us on our Facebook page, Radical Apathy.
Yeah. Oh, Tanner can't talk words. I'm Corbyn.
Wow.
With a Y.
Radical Apathy Facebook page and Radical Apathy Podcast, I should say. They can find us on Twitter, Apathy Podcast. They can find us, our podcast, in all major podcast forums: Apple, Amazon, Spotify, Google.
Yep.
Now, thank you, Google.
Yeah.
And yeah, we try to release one every 2 weeks. We try.
Yeah. Every fortnight should be coming out.
Yeah, so we do our best.
We're also on Buy Me a Coffee if you want to throw a tip our way. But if not, as always,
And just remember that, shit happens. And why do we care?
yeah. Why do we care, Rosie?
We care because we're good people.
Oh, no.
No,
that's
no,
definitely
no.
not. Radical apathy.
No, we don't.
All right.
Okay. Thanks, everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you next
Okay,
time.
love you. Bye, Rosie.